Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 28 of Viper's World, and I figured we'd start this episode off a little different. Right, instead of our typical intro, me yapping, which, although fair warning, I am going to yap quite a bit now, but I figured we'd just jump right into this build here behind me. And this is going to be our brand new wheat farm. Now, obviously, right now, there's no interior, but we're gonna get into that in just a second here. I want to take a minute or two and talk about the outside. So obviously this is meant to look a lot more like a factory, right? Which we can tell from these big industrial smokestacks that I'm now realizing I forgot to texture. Oops, please don't sue me. But also just like the lack of windows, right? Because throughout the city here, we have a whole lot of like scaffolding windows, even over at the Happy Gas Garage and here at Chicken Jockey. But in here, I wanted to go with like there are windows, but they're kind of a fake, right? These are the what are they called? The chisel bookshelf. That's what they are. But you get the idea, right? It's supposed to be very industrial vibe, big factory looking building. I tried to emphasize that a little bit with like some graffiti on the side here. It doesn't really look like anything or say anything, but I don't know. I thought it was cool. Maybe this could be like a different language or something, or like minimalist depictions of like, you know, the Steve skin, right? It's kind of those colors are kind of like the zombies from Minecraft, the game that I'm playing right now that you're watching me play. I don't know though. I just thought it really needed something, especially with this abandoned building here. I mean, come on, this is like prime graffiti territory, right? Anytime you see like an abandoned building in the city or, you know, a more rundown place, right? And like these big industrial looking builds, you're gonna see some graffiti. So I figured that this side should definitely have the bulk of it. And then of course the roof, right? Kind of keeping in line with a lot of these other roofs. We have some copper, although up there at the very tippy top, right, there is some prismarine just kind of mixed in. So a little bit of everything, trying to vary it a little bit so it's not all the same, but similar like variations. This build is pretty awesome. Originally, when I designed it, though, it was going to be something totally different. So this is not nearly big enough for a wheat farm. So I have to do a whole lot of digging if I'm going to want to fit that in here. So what will probably take me a couple hours of my life is going to be an enjoyable 30 or so seconds for you. So enjoy. Hey guys, Editor Viper here. Not sure why I said it would take like a couple hours. This wasn't really too bad. I don't know, maybe like 20-30 minutes. So yeah, not sure where I was coming from there, but I also kind of figured that this would be a pretty boring time lapse. So I figured I'd jump in here and say, if you are enjoying yourself, subscribe maybe. We're trying to hit 6 billion subscribers before the end of the day today. So it would really help me out if you would go ahead and click that button. Maybe let me know how you're liking the video so far. Anyways, back to me. All right, it is done. It is a hole. You've probably seen some holes before, so we're not going to spend too much time on this, but I did want to give you a quick look at the villager setup here. And by villager setup, I mean the schematic for the farm. I have no idea why I said it that way. But essentially, right, it's, well, the nice thing about this is that it's too tall and it's stackable. So I think I dug down enough to have about 5 or 6 layers of this. Yeah, so if we want to stack it up, I think we need 2 villagers. You know, these guys, they're fake. Thanks, Late Matica. But I think we want to have 2 villagers per layer. So we might not do like a full 5 or 6 today. But yeah, we will definitely get a couple of layers in here. And they're each like fairly efficient, but I really like this design because, well, one, it's stackable this way, but if we want to go out in other directions, we can. So we could have like 4 farms here and then stack it up 5 times for like 20 farms, which would be kind of crazy. Okay, let's go ahead and actually build this thing so that it's not just a hologram. this guy right here, bit of a menace, but he is a total game changer. Oh, he's flying away. But he is a total game changer for moving villagers. Like, I don't think I have a boat on me, but for moving villagers, you guys saw in the time lapse, so much easier, right? So much easier now with him to move mobs around. And oh, look at this, we can watch the sunrise. Oh wait, no, this is the sunset. Sunrise over there. We watch the sunset. But no, seriously, this guy is awesome. Although I have a mod that makes him go faster. And that means he flies away a lot faster too. So kind of a pain there, but you saw I was having some trouble with the villagers, but honestly, definitely much better than, building like a minecart rail all the way through the city, or, trying to bring them in a boat, just hooking them up to a happy ghast. So yeah, if you need to move mobs, the happy ghast is the way to go. But I already moved. Well, I'm gonna get some more mobs in here, but for now, this thing is working pretty well. I ended up adding in just a couple more layers. I don't want to add in one back here because I want to have a collection system that goes up and do some cool things that way. But I did add in a couple more on the side because I figured, well, you know what? If you can expand it out to the sides, we may as well. And that way, right, for every layer we add up, we can have, 3 more villagers. So if I do, another 2 layers, then I'm going to have to get 8 more villagers, but because right, we need another one in the center, I believe. But then it's going to be, 3 times as efficient as it is now. So it's kind of worth it. I don't know if it's worth it too, though, to bone meal some of this to make it grow a little faster, but it was pretty efficient, though. See, this was like 15, I don't know, 30 seconds ago, a couple minutes ago, maybe. So it seems like it's pretty efficient on its own. But I am worried, so there's a lot of wheat in here. I don't know if this guy, I don't know enough about their mechanics, but I'm wondering if he just goes around and we'll get it all at once, and then it's going to take, another 10 minutes. So maybe you get, 40, but then it's okay, this is really slow to grow back, and then you got to wait. So I think maybe having those other layers would be helpful because, honestly, I do use a whole ton of mud brick, especially in the city, and especially for some upcoming projects. So I think that, yeah, we should expand this a little bit. So without further ado, I think it's time we go ahead and add another layer or 2 to this farm. And just like that, I've added not 1, not 2, but 3 total layers to the farm. Well, I guess I really only added 2, but there are 3 total layers to the farm now. Oh, and some mobs around here. Oops. Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. But yeah, there are 3 total layers to the farm now here. And obviously we have the 3 different sides here. So that brings us to a grand total of 9 little farm modules. And yeah, obviously this up here is not looking too great, but we'll address that in a second. But my way to get down there right now is this little scaffolding elevator type thing, and this is working pretty well. I mean, the top layers were literally installed, I don't know, they maybe been running for 5 minutes, before the start of this clip. So this is working pretty well. This is probably more wheat than I'm gonna need, honestly, but that's good. I want to never have to worry about wheat again. But I definitely have to worry about bad interiors, and right now this is absolutely one of them. So I have a couple of cool ideas for a more futuristic, I guess you could say, or even a better sorting system, transportation system, storage system, all that good stuff. Something a little more industrial, I'm thinking. That's the word I'm looking for. So let's go ahead and see if I can't put that in place for us here. Because, I mean, well, anything is better than this right now. Believe it or not, guys, I actually got this all to work on the first try. But before we talk about the actual mechanics behind this thing, I want to show you the interior because I just kind of freehanded this. And I'm like really happy with it. I didn't do too much up like top up high because I kind of wanted it to be like these high open ceilings almost again, like yeah, this big like industrial warehouse factory kind of thing. So that's kind of intentional, also kind of just me being lazy, and you know, it's a little late. I want to get this video out to you. I want to go to bed, but you know what, here I am making interiors for you all. So this is that little access hatch that I had showed you before, and we'll go down there soon, but I put this little authorized personnel only sign here because I thought that was kind of funny, you know, kind of fitting. Again, using these lights like we have over at Jasper's house, right at the Happy Gas Garage. This is our fire extinguisher totem, which I think is kind of funny, but kind of useful to maybe start dotting around our world. Like, you know, I carry, sorry for the messy inventory, and I carry 1, 2, 3 totems on me at all time because this is hardcore after all. So maybe I start putting these around the world, like, I don't know, something happens, I like pop 2 totems and, you know, I just need to come and get a second one or like get one on hand. So I thought it's kind of like funny, but it could also be really useful if we start dotting these around the city and the world. So this is the actual collection system for the farm. Now, these copper bulbs don't work. I would love to hook it up, or even like redstone lamps like behind here with the chests so that, you know, they do work, like if it's full. But I'll tell you what does work is the wheat farm. Ooh, there's a lot of seeds in here. Interesting. Well, there's also a ton of wheat in here, which is what I'm mostly concerned about. And honestly, I think it would be really cool to add in an auto crafter here, but I have been working on this thing for, I've been working on this thing for some time, so you know what, maybe you guys can take a look and let me know, because I've never used the auto crafter. I don't know if it's possible to do it in here. We'll get into this more in a minute, but yeah, working really well. Super happy with this, and I just kind of added in some more like redstone-y, like control type components. Redstone Ender chest. Jeez, gosh, guys, it is late. It is too late. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be recording right now, but Ender chest here. It is, you know, obviously pretty practical. Same thing, like we have some barrels dotted around. Over here, another sign, right, machinery in use, but it's also useful because, you know, we have a crafting bench, stone cutter. I'm always running back to my base for my stone cutter. The floor is actually the smithing table, so that's pretty useful as well. That's how we get like this gritty, you know, top texture. So there's a lot of like practicality here. Another like goofy little redstone component. And then I did add in this ridiculous ladder, which it's kind of ironic because it's right next to the big sharp thing that says danger. But like a ladder and a little bit of railing, kind of like an access hatch if you need to get up and access the pipes. This pipe is all decorative, so that is just decoration. But this one is fully functional. So if you take a look here, this pipe actually leads to like 5 or 6 different water streams that go all the way down here, and then they actually loop back up to these guys. So essentially, right, the villagers inside the farm will harvest the wheat, then they come over, they try to throw it to their buddy here in the middle on either of these layers, doesn't get to them, hits the fence gate, falls down, and then follows the water stream all the way up this pipe into here. And because I'm really happy that I got this right on like the first try, I did flood the farm a few times. That was kind of a pain, I won't lie. But because I got this right like pretty much on the first try, I want to give you guys a little bit of a demonstration. So I probably should add more wheat on me. You know what? Let's toss my blocks of bamboo. I'm pretty confident this is going to work. So if we follow this, it goes up our first elevator. Oop, I already lost it. There we go. It's going to go into the second elevator. And it's going to make its way into the chest. So if I pop back up to the top, we open this chest. There we go. 20 blocks of bamboo. So this thing is like lossless as well. I would have been fine if it lost some because it's still pretty efficient, but it seems like it's like 100% lossless. Yeah, I'm just super happy with how this looks with the pipes. It's very industrial. You know, it's a very cool addition to our city, but not only is it cool, right? It is functional. Well, with that all being said, you guys, we have reached the end of the video. I think this one's going to be a little bit shorter. I wanted to get this out to you in a timely manner, but just didn't have all that much time. But honestly, I am super happy with how this turned out, and I hope you guys are too. So with that all being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.